me put my things down. I got me some little notes because I need to make sure I stay on track. Let me make sure that this is getting all this yumminess from this camera. I hope this finds you all well. I hope your mama is all right, and your daddy and them, and all the people who love and support you and them babies. If this is your first time here, this is at my cousin's house, and I am your favorite new cousin, Tanisha. And I'm so happy to have you here in my sacred space, sharing this beautiful human experience underneath this full moon, y'all. Last time I checked, the full moon was in Aries. I don't know what it is right now, but maybe I have been triggered, and we're here to talk about that. Okay, so before we get into this, and this is your first time here, welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you feel loved. I hope you feel received. Go ahead and get comfortable because we finna do some spiritual yapping, right? And before we get into it, I just want to lay out the intentions because I believe intentions are so important. We got to set the atmosphere. We got to tell the universe what we want so we can get what we need and desire. So the intention of this channel is to empower Black women to let go of self-limiting beliefs and provide the tools to construct a life an identity that is authentically and unapologetically your own. And I believe in leading by example. So I am your example. I'm your big cousin. I am your sister. I am your confidant. And I'm so happy you decided to spend some time with me here today. Today, let's talk about abundance and scarcity. I was trying to figure out what is this word, but I guess it depends on where you from. And I'm a Southern lady, so I'm gonna say scarcity because it feels right. Like I said, I was triggered, y'all. Triggered underneath this Aries moon. And it all started with my brakes. So it's not like I didn't know I needed breaks. I just thought I had a little bit more time. And baby, I have been grinding like clips, honey, grinding. And that triggered a part of me that I was not aware of. I had a moment where me and Aziza was in the car and she wanted to go to McDonald's and I was like, baby, I'm embarrassed. Mommy is embarrassed to go through this drive-through, but I went anyways. I went anyways because my baby wanted that sausage burrito. I'm gonna give her that sausage burrito and I ain't have a bra on, so I was not gonna go into that place without a bra on. Oh, that was my next door neighbor. But anyways, so I really had to sit with that and be like, girl, you're not the only one grinding on these breaks. It's like a stereotype right now. Well, I can't say it's a stereotype because a lot of us ladies do not keep up with our car maintenance. But it's kind of like a common thing right now, right? Where guys put on TikToks or Instagrams about, okay, if you hear this, you need to get this done. So I had to remind myself, you ain't the only chick out here, grinding on these breaks. So what is it about? And I let it linger because one thing I've learned is that I don't really try to press hard when I notice a trigger. I just don't. It doesn't serve any justice and takes so much energy away. Because if you're triggered, you already got to stay grounded, right? You got to make sure you don't get drifted off into the abyss. Oh Lord Jesus. I'm getting so comfortable. Let me scoot over a little bit. But so I just marinated on that and I picked up my book. Now, if you follow me on Instagram or any social media, you know I've been loving this book right here, Miss Barbara Stanton. If you ever see this, you was on point with this one, baby. This is called Overcoming Under Earning. This book was suggested by Miss Janice of the what's that podcast called? The Black the Wounded Black Motherhood. Ooh, child, I'm sorry, Miss Janice. I'm sorry, my medicine ain't kicked in, but it is the Black Mother Wound podcast. That's what it's called. And she's a Scorpio too. So I should have known when she suggested this book, it was going to go in deep, right? And I have been reading it over the past month. And it basically is a workshop in a book. Asks you, each chapter goes over a point. It asks you a little journal insert. It has little journal exercises in here where you can really break down certain beliefs and figure out where they're from. And this is heavy, y'all. It's real simple when you're doing it. It's like, this is a simple. How is this gonna help me? Oh, it helps if you in tuned and if you're serious about your growth. These little journal excerpts are going to help you get down to the nitty gritty, to the root of why you broke. And I had to go back to this book and really dive in and understand why I felt this way, how I've been feeling this way. And as soon as that moon went direct, I realized, oh, I don't want people to know that I'm broke. I hate to say, I'm gonna say this on a very 3D level because I'm not manifesting brokenness in my life. I know I'm a very abundant woman. As you can see, I am full of love and joy and prosperity just within. So it has no choice but to ooze over, right? However, in the 3D, on Earth, I am a little broke. And I don't like people thinking that I'm broke, right? And I realized that came from my childhood, right? And I think that's most common in black culture and maybe other cultures. I'm not excluding everybody else for y'all go there. If you're Mexican, Korean, white, you're welcome to join. But like our good sis Milano said, all the non-blacks to the back because this is for us. But you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. But it's so typical in our culture to not look like what we've been through, right? It's typical to see people who ain't got much in their bank account, but their kids got on Jordans and they hair laid and all this other stuff. And even with, us ladies, we can have a little bit in our bank account, but be these nails gonna be done. We gonna have that purse and all that other stuff because we don't want to look like what we going through. And that's all fine and dandy. However, I am overcoming under earning and I'm getting down to the root of why I do certain things. So when I realized that, I had to be kind to myself. And let me make sure this mic's still on because last time it went dead. I had to be kind to myself. I had to sit here, like I told y'all before, hand on my chest, other hand on my tummy, and be like, it's okay. The economy is crazy right now. You are a single mother and your baby daddy ain't providing nothing. It's okay. You still deserve to be out in the world. So what if people look at you? So what if people judge you? Them bills still gonna be there. So we got deeper into the book, right? And it's a part in this book that she asks you a question about why you haven't gone for your dreams. And you know what? I'm gonna put this on pause because I want to find it and I don't want to use up all my store. So give me 1 minute, all right? Oh, all right, all right, all right. So I found a little journal exercise, and it's actually called Digging Down to the Roots. And on here, she asks various questions about money and your fears about money. And my number one is my biggest fear about money is never having enough, right? More in common with anybody. And it goes down about how your father felt about money, how your mom felt about money, and all that stuff. And in my family, money caused stress, and often I felt like I was the center of the stress. But we ain't here to discuss that, right? Like one thing about getting down to the root, you ain't got to. You can go into the darkness of your past, but you ain't got to get comfortable. Get your lantern, get what you need, and get out. Sankofa. Period. So what did I learn? Right? I learned that I'm programmed to believe in order to make money, I have to sacrifice time with family. Money to intelligence, fear that I would never make enough money to pay out debts. And it asks you, how did your early experiences and parental messages affect you? I was lonely because my mom would work so much. I barely seen her, or she would dissociate when she was around. Money was authority. My dad felt entitled to me because he paid child support, but emotionally he was unavailable. And what would you like to change, right? Because we're talking about this. What we gonna like to change? And I'm like, yes, I'd like to change. I feel like I dissociate with my child for similar reasons. I feel like when I make it, I will have more time for her. And I was just like, wow, I can't wait until I make it to enjoy my life. I cannot wait until I make it to be happy. So that was the first domino that fell, right? I realized that I was living on a social programming that was not mine to begin with. And then I went on to thinking about, well, Tanisha, you have these business ideas. The only reason why you're not doing them is because you don't want to sacrifice time with your daughter. Okay, so how can we change your schedule so you're not sacrificing time with your daughter? You can't you got to figure if this is the most important thing to you, if you want to be able to be present and because my baby's a yapper just like me, child. And sometimes she be yapping about nothing, but it don't matter, right? Because I gotta be, connected with my child and let her know, regardless of what you say, child, it matter, child, it matter. And I realized, okay, baby, we got to go to sleep at 8:30, 9 o'clock at the latest, so we can wake up and be fully energized. Baby, we gonna have to wake up a little bit early so we can have time to get ready. Teeth brush, at least a moo on, so when your child wakes up, that time can be dedicated to her and whatever she got going on in her little brain. And when I get home, I'm gonna have to make sure that I'm not just doom scrolling or chatting on Instagram and Facebook with strangers that ain't got nothing to do with my life. Like I love my social media friends and family, but however, reality is I'm a single mother and I have limited time with my child outside school and work. And even though it's not as much time that I would like, we gotta make the most of it. And to put her on a schedule, right? 7:30, my baby is in bed, wash, clean, tummy full, and I'm usually around 8 o'clock she dozes off to sleep. So I started by the time 7:30 come, I'm at my desk. I'm over here making jewelry. I'm over here making anklets right now because the hood been asking about anklets, and I'm making some new waist beads because I learned some things about chakras and energy pairing, and I'm like, oh, okay, I can take this to another level. And not only is this gonna feed my income, it's feeding my soul. I love to create. I love to take all these little beads and throw them together and be like, oh, bitch, that's cute. That's a whole little style, and it's energetically helpful as well. So yeah, it's a vibe. And so that's one thing that this book has taught me over like so many other things. I done generated some affirmations with her help. And the cool thing about her, Miss Barbara Standing, is the child of the man who created H&R Block. And let me tell y'all, that man did not teach his daughter about any financial any how to build financial security. He thought because she was a woman that she ain't need all that. Then she ended up getting with a man that did some fraud shit and was broke with two kids trying to figure it out, but she figured it out and she's sharing the wealth. So it's such a good book. Let me look at my notes, y'all, because I'm just rambling or whatever. We was talking about the full moon or whatever. I read the excerpt from the book. Oh yeah, and that's another thing that popped up for me. So I go to yoga at my gym 2 times a week. I go on Tuesdays for heated yoga. I love me a nice hot spicy yoga class. And I go on Sundays for the rest and reflect, which I love that class as well. And I always use exercise in general as like a somatic practice. It's something that's going around on social media that most people feel like you have to have some kind of instructor or go to these specific classes, and you don't, boo. You don't. What you need to do is go into the gym with intentions and say, I am here to release this and this and that, and go ahead and work out and see what comes up for you. And every time I do that, I see a change in my body. I understand what's locked in my hips and my shoulders, and I'm able to come out of a yoga session or a weightlifting session with more clarity about myself and my circumstances. So I went into yoga class, right? And I was like, yes, I'm going to, with help of AI, I'm going to be honest, with help of AI, I was like, I'm gonna go in here, and when I hit these warriors, I'm gonna say that my worth is non-negotiable, right? It's not dependent on my bank account. When I hit these twists, I'm going to be squeezing the scarcity out of my spine, out of my DNA, so I can truly be present and continue to move forward with my dreams and my desires. And we just going to see what comes up. So I am doing all the things. Great yoga class. Great. We always clap at the end because Miss Arica, she be on her thing. But while I'm doing all these movements, it's 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 bringing up another reason why I was so triggered by my financial circumstances. Particularly, I was at my desk yesterday and I was like, girl, look at this calendar and figure out how you're going to pay these bills because I am a month behind on my car note. Thank God I'm with a place that understands. But I'm going to climb up out of there for real. I'm climbing as we speak right now. The ancestors are working on my behalf right now. Legba has the door open for him. But anyways, I was triggered to the point that I had to like my heart was beating fast. You would think a pit bull was out to chase me. That's how much I was triggered. Is my mic still on? It's still on. And at that time, my homegirl texts me talking about she anxious, and I'm like, "Girl, you anxious, bitch? I'm anxious too. I'm trying to, worried about my financial blocks and things like that." And after yoga, while doing yoga, I realized I was so anxious because I wanted to get myself out of the hole right now. That instant gratification will get in your ass. I wanted to do all the things and make $500 right here and right now. And we all know it don't always happen like that. We got to go through these processes, right? So I was like, well, Tanisha, well, why you want to do it so fast? Because I don't want to depend on my mama, girl. She been helping me. She been giving me $200 to $300 a month to help me pay for my bills, and she just bought me this mushroom coffee. Thank you, Mama. This is a cup she bought me for my birthday on Mother's Day last year. But this mushroom coffee, that's $40, and she ain't even bat an eye. And I realized, oh, I don't feel worthy of my mother's help. Oh, I'm still used. I'm still on the old programming from back in the day when my mama was broke. My mama ain't broke no more. Carolyn is not broke no more. Carolyn is sitting pretty, but y'all ain't hear that from me. But I had to realize that, baby, your mama has told you over and over again that she's okay with helping you. She wants to help you. She has done A, B, and C to ensure that she's able to help you and still get the luxuries that she enjoys. Your mama ain't hungry. Her nails and toes stay done. She's still buying Halloween decorations as we speak. That lady ain't hurting for nothing. And I'm like, oh, so that's just me, right? Yeah, it's just you. So I got to be okay in order for me to show up as my best self and to create wealth, long term wealth, or just to pay my bills up so I can have space to create my bad products. I'm going to have to be okay with my mama helping me. Right? Right. And as long as I keep moving forward with my plans, that's going to help me feel more comfortable with asking her money, right? Because I'm not sitting here not just doing anything. I got a full-time career. I got a little side hustle that's going to turn into a multi-million dollar business. Everything going to be okay, right? Everything going to be okay. I walked out of that yoga practice feeling so light, y'all. Get you some somatic healing. Use what you got to get what you want. Cause we're gonna be all right. We're gonna be all right. So, with that being said, I just wanted to share that because that was deeply profound for me, and I know it will reach the people it needs to be touched by it. But I'm realizing my worth is not equated to my bank account. I am worthy because I woke up and took a breath. That's it. I'm worthy of all my desires, not because of how much money I got, or all the things I do, simply because I am alive. And you are too, sis. You are too. So, with that being said, I hope this yapping session was a blessing to you because I ain't nothing else coming up on my spirit. I hope this was a blessing to you. I think I got a bug crawling on. Don't judge me, y'all. Child, live in these apartments. I had to realize I'm not the only one, child. I am not the only one. There's a stay-at-home mom that live around the corner. House is immaculate. You hear me? But she's still asking, girl, how's you dealing, girl? I'm about to move. I'm about to move, and a lot of this furniture ain't gonna go with me. But it is what it is. Say what you want. I don't give a. But yes, it has been so nice having you here, cousins. I am I always wanted to like end these episodes with some advice and things like that. But that's not it's not what the spirit has led me to do. You hear me? It's not what the spirit has led me to do. I'm allow spirit to continue to move and guide me on how this channel should be structured and what I should be doing. But I honestly feel like I am the gift. What they say in Encanto, Maribel was the gift. She ain't had no special talent. She couldn't talk to animals. She couldn't change the stars and the weather. She wasn't strong like her older sister, but who she was the gift, and I am the gift. You're welcome. I love you. Nobody else told you I love you and I adore you, and I'm so proud of everything you have done in your life to get to where you are, and I'm excited to see where you're going in life. And I got to get to work because I still got to go to my corporate gig, which I am very grateful for. And I am pushing myself, right? Because last video I was saying how all this isn't connected. When I do great at my corporate job, I'm just learning how to be great in my entrepreneurship. And I am pushing myself to do as many cases as I can. We have to do like 30 to 35 a day. I am striving for 35. And yeah, just taking it one day at a time, one day at a time. But like I said, I love you. Choose to live in your abundance. Choose to see yourself as abundant. Remember, prosperity within, prosperity around me, abundance within, abundance around me. And even if you got to ask somebody for money, if you got to borrow some money from your grandma, right? That's abundance. That's abundance. That's a blessing. So don't feel no shame about it, all right? I ain't got my cards, so we ain't gonna pull no cards right now. But maybe next episode. All right. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.